From NDTV Studios on the second floor of the Duncan Student Center. A Notre Dame student media and Notre Dame television production. This is ND Sunrise.
Good morning, Notre Dame, and welcome back to ND Sunrise. I'm Meaghan O'Keefe, and I'm here to lead you through all the latest Notre Dame news. We're finally in the last stretch of the semester, but that doesn't mean finals have to be the only thing going on campus. I hope you all took advantage of the beautiful weather this past weekend and weren't too disappointed when the snow came again on Monday. The weather this weekend, unfortunately, is not looking any warmer, with signs of rain and possibly snow again. But we chose to live in the Midwest, and this is just how it is. To brighten up whatever mood the permacloud casts on you, reporter Helen Nguyen went around interviewing our campus's favorite members, our dorm's rector's dogs. Take it away, Helen.
Get to know the animals who call Notre Dame home and the people who love them on Pets in Residence.
Can you sit, Oslo? Good, sit, buddy. This isn't what? This is just your leash. My name is Elise Kaczynski, and I serve as the rector, interim rector of Walsh Hall, and this is Oslo. He is a black lab mix that we got from Berrien County Animal Control. He's a rescue. He loves going for walks around the lakes. He seems to really enjoy outside of most of the residence halls, especially the dining halls, all the good smells. He's very into smell. You know, I think the first few weeks when he stayed here by himself, he really had a hard time adjusting to dorm life. And a lot of the girls would say, oh yeah, I felt like that too when I was first in a residence hall. And I think that was really sweet of them to be so understanding, because as a dog mom, it made me so stressed because all he did was bark constantly when I left him, and I could hear him across the quad, and I was like, oh my gosh, someone's gonna hate having a dog here. But he's really adjusted pretty well, so I'm really grateful for that. I haven't been here for a long time, and so I think more people are just willing to stop by and say hi, even if it's just to say hi to Oslo and pet him. And I also think, you know, he's not going to spread any bad news about people, so it makes it easy to talk around him, and we feel really comfortable. And I think a lot of the residents say like how much they miss their dogs and just want to see other dogs. And I also really love when you're taking a dog for a walk on campus and you see students you don't even know always kind of smile when they see a dog, and it's really special that students don't even need to come and pet the dog. They just see a dog on campus and they get this smile on your faces that you're like, yeah, that mattered to them. They were really happy to see the dog today, and I don't have to know them. I don't need anything, and it's just really cool. And everyone loves to pet him, so he's pretty cute. Yeah, I think he's just taught us a lot about love and taking care of other people.
Wow, that segment really made me think about how P-Dub could use a dorm dog. Annie, please get on that. Next up, ND Sunrise's Sam Kaufman sat down with outgoing sophomore class council members Patrick Smart and Libby Eggmeyer. They spoke to us about what it was like to be in charge for the year and left us with some parting words for the sophomore class. Take it away, Sam.
Hi, I'm Libby Eggmeyer. I am sophomore vice president. I'm a history major, and my minors are European Studies and French. I'm from Menlo Park, California, and now I live in the best hall on campus, McGlynn Hall. Roll Rocks.
My name is Patrick Smart. I'm the sophomore class president. It's been awesome. I live in Fisher Hall on campus. My major is economics, and I have a minor in the Hesburgh program for public policy and also sustainability. And I'm originally from Morristown, New Jersey, which is a little bit outside New York City, so northern side of the state.
Whose idea was it first to run?
It was mine.
Yeah, it was Patrick's. I can remember the
Yeah.
exact moment that you asked me. We were sitting in the McGlynn, 24-hour study lounge, and he was like, do you want to run for
I was like, this is
class
kind of weird.
It was just, very random
It.
out of nowhere, and I think I didn't even think about it overnight. I just, said yes.
You said yes, and I was remember just being like, oh, okay,
All right,
cool, let's
here
do
we go.
this.
We knew nothing going into it.
Yeah.
Absolutely nothing of, what the roles would be. We had not done student government before.
Neither
It's
of
fully
us.
just, we're going to, hold hands and jump off this cliff together.
Yeah. I think kind of the reason why I kind of was thinking about running in the first place was I kind of I had some friends that come here. I know that I've kind of met a decent amount of people on campus, and they were kind of talking about just hey, I really want to find more people next year on campus. How can I get kind of closer to the class? And I remember just kind of being okay, I think this is something that I think that we would probably do a sort of good job at. Might as well throw my hat in the ring, see what happens. And Libby and I had always had such a good dynamic, and I was honestly, I think we ran in kind of different-ish social groups last year that I think that when we were okay, if we're gonna do this, we might bring some people together.
Yes.
It'd be a good time. And then we went for it, and then Rose and Zach hopped along the way, and it's been a great group of four.
They're the best people in the world. Zach is. I think we just can't give him enough credit.
Zach is the steadfast, silent
he's the
warrior
rock
of the
of
group.
class
He's the rock of
council.
class council.
He's the reason we're all still sane.
Yeah.
That is Zach McHale.
Libby, Rose, and I were very much let's do this. That's big ideas, just kind of really kind of fun, exciting. And Zach is sometimes just okay, let's keep things real.
Yeah.
That's and just whenever you need him, he is always there.
Yes.
And I think Rose is the exact same way. That girl can literally do anything. And I'm we were talking about next year, and we're the class is in such good hands.
Yes.
Rose is going to do such a good job. And Zach, of course, staying on. But Rose just she knows how when you're hey, Rose, we need help with this. She can put herself in a situation, take leadership, and really get things done. So
they just have both the best energy. And
Yeah.
I think they complement each other so well too. So yeah, I'm really excited to see what they do next year.
Also, the four of us are just fun. Our group chat, we just send memes to each other. We have a good time.
I think at the end of the day, we're friends first, and that's really important because we care about each other, and we also really care about the class and wanting to make sure everyone just has the best sophomore year. And so that was really important when we were kind of putting the team together. Was above all, we want people that we really love.
Yeah.
And that we will be good with working
and the energy
with.
spreads. The energy spreads. You know what I
Yes.
mean? Where it's I think that because we have a good dynamic, it helps when we're working with different committees that can kind of see that. And trickle down, yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, I think the thing I'd say is I think the next couple of years, we have people going abroad, we're moving off campus, but I think that the stuff that goes on campus and just staying involved with the Notre Dame community is so unique. So even if you're going abroad, even if you're living off campus, just staying in touch with the people on campus, staying in touch when you're a senior with the freshmen in your dorms, getting to know them. I think the centrality of Notre Dame's location, you know what I mean? Just it's a big campus, but you pretty much stay on campus 24/7. You know what I mean? Really embracing that because we only have 3 or 4 years here, so just take advantage of that. I know that's definitely something I'm going to miss the most next year. Is just how much it means to be present here physically.
Yeah. And just to add something small to that, in the same vein of we were so welcomed and everyone was so open to us. I think try to bring that to everything that you do in life and to everyone in the grade. And
and especially the next year. Rose
even though
and
we're going to
Zach,
be with Rose and Zach and Dawson and Johnny, but we're going to be juniors. Obviously, it's halfway through, so scary. But still be open to making new friends.
Yeah.
I think that's the number one thing. That's always just a really great attitude to have, and it's completely changed, I think, our lives.
Definitely. There's so many amazing people in the grade. There's people come from all over, have such interesting
Everyone
life
has a story.
experiences. There's never a reason to close your circle. You know what I mean? You can always expand it.
Thanks, Sam. Speaking of the class of 2025, that leads us into this weekend's events. Tonight, the sophomore class council is hosting DAWGS, DAWGS, and DAWGS, a class of 2025 event being hosted on Library Lawn. The event runs from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m., and it's promised that there'll be real dogs, hot dogs, and friendship. It's never too late in the semester to meet some new people. Next up, the Fighting Irish Fighting Hunger Food Drive is hosting a used book sale to benefit the Food Bank of Northern Indiana and the People Gotta Eat food pantries. If you need to find some light reading for the summer, head to the main lobby of DPAC today through Sunday and support this cause. Even if you're already out and about today, it is not too late to change or add a layer. Today on campus is Denim Day, where students are encouraged to wear denim in support of survivors of sexual violence. So even if it's just a jacket, it's a simple sign of support for people in your life that you might not even realize are going through something. Finally, tomorrow night is the unveiling of the 2023 shirt. The design is revealed at 6 p.m. However, the full event of musical performances, food trucks, and promised special guest appearances will run from 4:30 to 6:30 p.m. I'm sure whatever the committee designed is great, as long as it is not yellow. Additionally, throughout this week, the Student Union Board is hosting 2K Tostel, which is themed around the events of the early 2000s. Therefore, we thought it'd be interesting to have both the oldest and youngest members of NDTV, Elijah Keel and Zora Rogers, to discuss this period of their lives. Take it away, guys.
Thank you, Megan. What's up, NDTV? I'm Zora Rogers.
And I'm Elijah Keel.
In honor of Student Union Boards and Tostel 2K events, we're going to be talking about the early 2000s.
Yes. So, I was born in the 90s. I don't remember Y2K because I was about 4-ish, and you...
Was born in 2004, the best year, truly, because that was the year I was born.
Sure, we'll say. So...
Let's talk about some fashion trends.
Yes.
Elijah, your outfit, I mean, I wish that we had coordinated because you're really kind of eating me up right now. What were you wearing in the early 2000s?
So, funnily enough, I went to a very Catholic school, so I was in mostly school uniforms, and I just decided to lean into my outdated sense of fashion. I was in a lot of graphic tees. Just not the fashion of the time.
Hey, whatever Target had on the shelves, I was wearing it. You know, it didn't matter the color, it didn't matter the shape, it honestly didn't even matter the size. If Target had it, if Gap had it, it was on my body. Thanks, Mom.
Fair enough. So, what do you think is the biggest monumental moment of the early 2000s?
Honestly, early 2000s, something that I do actually remember pretty well was Obama's inauguration.
I remember that too.
Were you there?
I was not there. However, I remember me and my mom talking about it. It was a very big moment. And I remember I was a bit too young to realize why it was such a big deal. And I always remember that.
I was just wondering why I was out in the cold. I was 4 years old at this inauguration. I had my little puffer coat on. There's a picture of it that we'll put up. I was on my uncle's shoulders the whole time. I was mad, I was hungry, I was tired, but I can say that I went. And I think that I went just so that I could flex this on NDTV. So.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, let's talk about media. Media. What kinds of media are coming back that you see within the year 2000s?
I do know that my friend recently got one of those cameras where you take a picture and...
You mean one of these cameras?
Those, yes. But also those cameras, the film cameras, where you still have to wave them about, yeah.
Okay, I have one of those, but I do have this digital camera that my parents gifted me at the ripe age of 16. Would you like to take a picture on it to commemorate this moment?
Sure, why not?
All right, smile. The flash is on, I'm just warning you.
No.
There you go.
So you got your first phone you got this camera at 16?
I did get this camera at 16, yes.
So, what was your first phone? When did you get it?
So I got my first phone when I was 13. That was my family's rule.
Sure.
I was in middle school. I was in 7th grade. It was March, and my first phone was a rose gold iPhone 7.
Ugh.
What?
So I was 10 when I got my first phone. I was a pretty active kid. My parents needed a way to make sure I wasn't running around getting lost.
Okay.
But mine was a flip phone from a brand that I'm pretty sure doesn't even exist anymore.
What was that brand?
Don't ask me, I was 10. I also had those fun little phones where you flip it to the side and you had the keypad after that, because if you never experienced the pain and suffering of having a flip phone and having to text with the number pads.
Yeah, the double text.
That's true suffering.
Yeah, I mean, I was active. I was a hustler. I was downloading Snapchat and Instagram while I was in Best Buy purchasing this phone. I mean, I was ready. So I couldn't wait to get my first phone. Even now, love my phone. I'm very thankful for digital media and digital technology. But yeah, let's get into music.
Yep.
What kind of music were you listening to in the early 2000s?
So my parents were very old-fashioned. We still had a lot of CDs and it was very old hip-hop and R&B. If you're familiar with Cadillac Records, it was a lot of that.
Yes. Yes. So for me, I had an iPod, and this was back when for Apple Music, when you had to buy each individual song, and so every song that I wanted to buy on my iPod had to be reviewed by my dad. And so every song, I had about 8 gospel songs on my iPod that I just listened to religiously, if you will, because my dad would not approve anything else. But Cadillac Records you were talking about.
Yes, because I had to deal with the CDs. I never had an iPod. That was not an iPad, not a Walkman. You're kids these days, always having advanced technology.
Aren't we like 6 years apart?
That's too, yep.
Okay, well.
It's still astonishing.
Wow. But for music, I guess nowadays, I do still listen to music from the early 2000s. I like a lot of R&B, some old school rap music I'll enjoy too. A lot of old Beyonce is what I enjoy, especially when, for her Cadillac Records, when she was playing Etta James as
So
well.
so you watched the Cadillac Records movie?
No, I did not. I just, was doing a Beyonce deep dive, and those were the songs that I found, and I enjoyed them. So they're on my playlist, but I have not seen the movie.
I see. I did see that movie. What was your favorite song from that movie? Since you were doing the Beyonce deep dive of that playlist.
I liked At Last. That's a classic. I liked I Would Rather Go Blind. I liked All I Could Do Was Cry. I'd say those are my top 3.
So, did you have that moment where you would just sing those songs over and over and over again?
Oh, I'd be in the shower like, At Last. Yeah, I just got some looks from people around the studio, but that was my jam.
So, Cadillac Records was a movie that I watched, but one movie that I watched a whole lot was. It was a movie called Dreamgirls. It took place around the same time as Cadillac Records, and my sister was obsessed with this movie. She loved it, and we would watch it over and over again, at least like twice a month, and we would just keep singing the songs, and it was just. I look back on it, and it was a very fun moment.
Okay, awesome. Yep. Okay, one last thing. Rate the year 2000s, just in terms of aesthetic, style, anything. What would you rate it?
I want to give it like an 8. Felt a bit less chaotic. Although the early 2000s is when my sister was born, so I might have to knock it down a point. Just give it a 7.
I give it a 9.5 out of 10. Those were the good old days, and thank you so much. And let's kick it back to Meaghan in the studio.
Thanks, guys. And you can catch Zora's full cover on At Last on ND Sunrise next week. Well, we learned a lot about the upbringing of Elijah and Zora. You should really live life in the present. NDTV's Director of Operations, Elise Dohoney, recorded a typical day in her life as a Notre Dame junior. Let's see what that looks like.
Okay, it is 9:17 a.m. right now. I have a class that starts at 9:25. That's 10 minutes away. It's my statistics class, so we are about to run. We're about to book it. I didn't even make my bed. Here we go. Okay, I just finished stats class, and now I'm off to go get breakfast at Starbucks. I'm once again running late for class, but this one my professor's bringing his dog to, so it feels like a bigger deal. But I'm on the move. There we go.
I gotta give you your papers.
Okay, I just got out of class. That dog was adorable. I did not pay attention at all. And now I'm off to work for the Alumni Association for the next 3-ish hours. So I just finished work, and now I'm gonna go to a meeting where they're gonna tell me what I have to do to write a senior thesis. So we are just on the move today. So I'm producing this week, the ND Sunrise episode of this week. So I opened up the studio and I got myself some Chick-fil-A, and I'm about to go make some graphics for the show and edit one of our reporters' segments. And I'll take you along for that. Say hi.
When it was like right behind me, it was fine, and then my hair was covered.
So behind me is Zora, who is going to be the anchor for our show today, and she's in deep conversations with our director. I'm the producer, so I don't got to worry about things till after the show.
And I'm the talent.
Megan's the talent. Megan's the talent. It's going to be a good show today. High five. Yes. Wow, that was impressive that you didn't hit my head. And Zora, you're going to do great. Thank you. There we go. This is Sam, our fearless director. And Megan again. And this is what he's in charge of.
And welcome back to ND Sunrise. I'm Zora Rogers, and I'm here to deliver you the morning news. I hope everyone.
Okay, we just finished filming this week's episode of ND Sunrise on Notre Dame Television, and now I'm taking a break before post-production to go pick my room at my dorm for next year. I get to choose my room for next year. So I'm on my way back to Ryan Hall. So room picks went well. I got the room I wanted for next year, so I'm really excited to have my senior year in Ryan Hall. And I'm now back in my dorm room for this year with my unmade bed from this morning. And I'm gonna go put on some gym clothes, head back to the NDTV studio, edit the show that we just filmed, post it on YouTube and on our channel. Okay, so it's now 11 p.m. I finished up editing the show in the studio. These lovely ladies did a great job. Wave, Megan. Wave goodbye. This is so sad. I'm now walking back to Ryan. I think I'm gonna go visit my friend Amanda and then maybe work out in the Ryan Hall gym and finish up some homework for tomorrow. I got some accounting to do and I have an essay I have to submit. So should be a nice night, maybe a late night, but it'll be good.
Good night, Notre Dame television people. Thanks, Elise. I'm glad I was able to make a few appearances in the final cut. Now I've invited our own JJ Post as her sports correspondent to talk about the blue and gold game happening this weekend. So JJ, what is the blue and gold game?
So the blue and gold game is an annual scrimmage held every year between both halves of the Notre Dame football team. The two teams are split into Team Blue and Team Gold. Usually it's a mix of starters, backups, walk-ons. Everyone on the team, the seniors will be divided up beforehand, and then there's a separate selection process for the younger players. They'll be divided into two teams, and they compete in an open scrimmage viewable to the public at Notre Dame Stadium. This is not unusual. Notre Dame usually does scrimmages that sometimes only the media can see, sometimes only the coaches can see. This one, the fans can come, they can attend. It's usually more of a kind of a fun event than an actual competitive sort of spirit. You know, there's a tailgating scene going on, but you know, really it's more about the chance to host recruits, show them Notre Dame Stadium, show them the campus. Usually the weather is pretty nice, although this weekend I don't think we're supposed to get a beautiful day. But usually it's a chance to kind of show recruits what the stadium is like, have them see some game action, you know, what the team looks like, but without, you know, the real risk of injuring anybody.
So why does this game matter if it's not competitive or any kind of sports standing?
Well, more of it's, I think, for the coaches, just kind of see where the energy is at in terms of which players are maybe making a push for minutes, you know, for freshmen that, you know, fans haven't seen all year or haven't seen at all because this is their first few months at Notre Dame. You know, they'll have a chance to make their first impression, and for the coaches, they have a chance to see how, you know, these players look in live game action because, you know, it's something to watch players in practice say, hey, he can catch a ball really well or he does a good job of blocking. But it's a different scene, even if it's a scaled back intensity, even if it's not as competitive as a full length and full physical, heavy hitting game, there is something to be said about, having 11v11 play and seeing how players do in that sort of area. And like I said before, a lot of it's recruiting, just the chance to bring all your potential prospects to campus, show them around the stadium, show them what the game day vibe is like, because even if it's not a competitive game, there still is that, kind of tailgate energy. Exactly. And it's really just a chance for fans to kind of come out and see the team for the first time. It's just an opportunity to kind of find some, maybe younger players that are ready to break out, but really more than anything, it's a chance to kind of see Notre Dame football in the spring.
So how do they split the teams into blue and gold so it's not, well, there's definitely some players that are better than the others. How do they make it even?
They hold a draft every year. This year it will be tomorrow morning, and there will be 2 team captains, or coaches rather. Usually it's the offense coordinator and the defense coordinator. Sometimes it's the position coach and another position coach, and they will draft the 2 teams. It is viewable to the public, so it's a nice way of getting kind of fans involved and media involved. There'll be a live stream on YouTube that people can watch if they're into that sort of thing. I have a 9:30 a.m. lecture, so I almost certainly will be watching it instead of paying attention, because that is the sort of dumb thing that I would prefer to pay attention to. But regardless, it's really a game more of like the seniors will be put beforehand into 2 teams to make sure they're not like, unequally balanced, because usually, more of the starters are seniors and grad students, more time in the weight room. So they'll be split up equally into the 2 teams to establish some early balance, and then the 2 coaches, whoever they might be, I don't believe they've been announced yet, will draft the 2 teams. Coach Freeman will be the commissioner of the draft, not necessarily favoring blue or gold, but kind of overseeing the whole process. And it'll be interesting to see who gets drafted.
Yeah. All right, so finally, who are the players to watch out for?
It really depends on what you want to see, I think, from the blue-gold game.
See the good ones.
There we go. So the quarterback competition comes to mind. No one's really sure what sort of competition it might entail. It's been unclear whether Sam Hartman, the incoming grad transfer, will simply be taking the starting job. He arrives with 115 total touchdowns of experience in ACC play, about as good as a resume as you're going to get. But Coach Freeman has been clear that he's going to give Tyler Buckner, a rising junior, a shot to win the job. Buckner, a high 4-star in his own right, had an impressive performance in the bowl game, and both of them are healthy to play in the spring game. So we'll have a chance to kind of see them both competing against each other. It's not really clear whether that will be a competition that will actually give weight to Buckner, or whether it's just Hartman's job and they're warming him up. But Freeman has been clear that he is at least publicly treating it like it's a competition. Elsewhere, the receiver room somewhere to watch, because we don't really have any sort of known quantity of who Coach Freeman wants his starting receivers to be. They bring 8 players into the game without any real establishment of a depth chart. So it'll be interesting to see who gets the start, who gets picked to what teams, who's given the first team reps. Something to keep an eye on. On defense as well, the secondary, the safety room in particular, another position where there's not really an established hierarchy in which players are going to be starting where and how much. So I think it's going to be interesting to see, who defensive coordinator Al Golden picks to be kind of his primary options, and how they play really too, because this is our first time for some of these players, especially the incoming freshmen, going to see them in live game action. It's a chance to really break out. Obviously, these spring games don't mean that much, because you can have a great spring game and not contribute next year. There's plenty of examples of that, but it is a a chance to kind of show your potential, and really if you break out, it might not mean something, but it might mean something as well.
Yeah, well, let's hope that Tyler Buckner doesn't get injured before Saturday, because personally I'm excited to see him play again. I'm rooting for him. I want him to keep his spot. And that's all we have for today's episode of ND Sunrise. Catch our newscast on Thursday mornings in the Duncan Student Center and North Dining Hall from 9 to 11 a.m. You can also find us on the NDTV YouTube page under the ND Sunrise playlist. To keep up on all of the latest news, make sure to follow us at Notre Dame Television on Instagram, at Notre Dame TV on Twitter, and Notre Dame Television on YouTube. Do you want to get involved with NDTV? We're always searching for people interested in student-led broadcasting and TV production. Come visit our studio on the 2nd floor of Duncan Student Center, or send us an email at ndtv@nd.edu. Thank you for tuning in this morning. From all of us here at the studio, we hope you have an amazing rest of your day. Once again, I'm Meaghan O'Keefe from ND Sunrise, signing off.